Buenas tardes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. That's the toughest time to have a conversation just after lunch, so we count with your energy. We have ours. So welcome to that short presentation about addressable television. Addressable TV, my name is Fabrice Mollier. I'm head of marketing and strategy at TF1 PUBLICITE, which is the sales house of the TF1 Group. TF1 Group is a media company. We publish 5 TV stations, including TF1, which is the biggest channel in France. We also do digital. Of course, as a publisher, addressable TV is a very exciting topic for me, and it is for every single TV business, whether it is agency or publisher or advertisers. So I'm very excited because we have the 2 different speakers from the long end of the discussion, big country, small country, and from the advertiser side and from the viewer side. So we have this discussion. We have Dave, which is CEO and founder of Simulmedia from the United States, and Fernando, which is Director Commercial at Sapo, which is subsidiary of Portugal Telecom in Portugal. Just a few words about addressable, because it's very a hot topic in TV because it's the marriage between the digital world and the TV world, between the mass media and the very precise targeted digital media, and that marriage is linked with the linkage is data. So this will be part of our discussion. So basically, we'll start with Dave and with the first question to him to start the presentation, which is we often talk about programmatic in television and addressable. So please start with to explain a little bit the difference between each other.
Thank you, Fabrice. What is addressable TV? I think it's important to level set to start our conversation. And I'm going to talk about the perception and the reality of addressable TV. I borrow a slide from Terry Kawaja and Luma, if people are familiar with the Lumascape. And for many people, there is an idea that there is linear TV and addressable TV. And the idea of addressable TV to many is this idea like we have online, that you have an internet protocol connection and you can deliver a different ad to each person or browser or TV device. Actually, it's much more complicated than that. I'm going to use the United States as an example of the different flavors of addressable TV. I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the different infrastructure in Europe, and I think it does mirror many of the same ones. So on the far left, we have linear TV, and this largely is defined as what we'll call TV, multi-channel package TV delivered over the air, delivered in cable systems, delivered in satellite systems. This is conventional TV. There is a notion that's emerging, and this is a Luma definition, addressable linear TV. And in this case, it leverages all of the normal breaks and ad positions of linear TV, but takes advantage of the massive fragmentation of linear TV and brings new sets of data, including first-party data, and I'm going to give an example of this after the slide, to make it what some might call a hybrid between addressable and linear TV, or a proto-addressable TV. We have video on demand, and we have 2 forms of that. You have video on demand delivered through the conventional infrastructure of the multi-channel provider, and you have video on demand delivered through internet protocol. In that case, like through a Hulu, that's probably the only one that looks most like what people know as addressable TV. We have over-the-top, which is TV delivered purely on a web basis. We have digital video, and we have full addressable. To put these in perspectives, in the United States market, the 4 on your right represent less than 4% of all TV inventory in the United States. While they're interesting, there's not much scale. But when I talk about the proto-addressable TV, the idea that you can start bringing a digital approach to TV advertising, this is an example of what's possible. In this case, this represents what happens if you marry the data, the subscription, and the subscriber name and household, and second-by-second viewing data from tens of millions of households in the United States with actual purchases from point of sale of a major retailer of 50 million different people that purchased at thousands of stores that month. And it shows the kinds of things that are possible that are more like what you're used to from the digital world. These spots represent transactions that were credited to a particular TV ad in a particular household, matching what households of millions of households saw TV ads and what they actually purchased that week and that full month. And what it shows is not like, unlike digital, that there is a diminishing return curve. That as you add frequency, which is the horizontal, as you give more ads to the same people, sometimes you can be increasing the likelihood of a transaction until you stop. If you look at, and this is a very classic kind of analysis that's done in digital and e-commerce, but never typically in linear TV. In this case, for this major advertiser, and this represented about $10 million of spend, media spend, and this represented about $100 million of incremental sales that month. What they learned was that between 10 and 12 impressions during the month was the effective limit. And what they learned was that 1/2 of all of the impressions delivered in that month were wasted, were beyond the effective limit. And so the proto-addressable TV brings a digital approach and says, if I now use math and I determine virtually how to create a frequency cap and how to better plan out the media so that I don't build redundancy of spots, how much of that waste can I save? And in this case, you can take the 50% waste down to 7%, which means 40% of the media spent in this case, $4 million, could have been returned into incremental reach or another campaign. For this advertiser that spends $300 million US a year, we're looking at a number over $100 million of potential savings or reinvestment in other media. And with that, I will save those minutes for discussion and hand it over.